It's 2 a.m. The house is silent, dark and still, but you're wide awake. And for the third time tonight, you're making that cold, lonely walk to the bathroom. You know the feeling all too well. The frustration of broken sleep. The dread of knowing that just as you drift off, the urge will return. This is Nocturia. And it's more than just an inconvenience. It's a thief that steals your energy, your focus, and your right to a restorative night's sleep. You've probably heard the standard advice, don't drink water before bed. But what if I told you it's far more complex than that? What if that supposedly healthy herbal tea, that diet soda, or even that savory evening broth is the hidden culprit behind your nightly interruptions? Today, we're not just listing drinks. We're going on a deep dive. We're going to uncover the science behind why your body wakes you up, expose the surprising saboteurs hiding in your kitchen, and give you a concrete, actionable plan to reclaim your nights. This is the definitive guide to understanding and overcoming Nocturia. First, to win the battle, you have to understand the battlefield, your own body. It's not just about your bladder being a simple storage tank that gets full. It's a sophisticated system, and at night, a special hormone is supposed to take control. This hero of our story is called ADH, or antidiuretic hormone. Think of ADH as the nighttime manager of your body's water department. During the day, you have lower levels of ADH, so your kidneys process fluids normally. But as you get ready for sleep, your brain releases more ADH. This hormone signals to your kidneys to slow down urine production, allowing you to sleep for a long, uninterrupted 6 to 8 hour stretch. Nocturia often happens when this system breaks down. And the drinks we consume are the primary reason for that breakdown. They either suppress that critical ADH hormone, or they directly irritate the bladder muscle itself, tricking it into thinking it needs to go when it doesn't. So let's expose the 7 key drinks that are wrecking this delicate nighttime balance. Number 1, the obvious assassin, coffee. We know coffee is a diuretic, but how does it work? The caffeine in coffee does 2 sinister things at night. First, it's a direct stimulant to your bladder muscle, called the detrusor muscle. It makes this muscle twitchy and overactive, creating a false sense of urgency. Second, caffeine actively suppresses the release of your precious ADH, that nighttime water manager, so your kidneys never get the memo to slow down. They keep producing urine at daytime rates, ensuring your bladder fills up fast. That evening decaf isn't safe either. It still contains enough caffeine and acidity to be a potent bladder irritant for many people. Number 2, the deceitful friend, alcohol. A glass of wine or a beer to wind down seems so relaxing. But alcohol is one of the most aggressive suppressors of ADH ever studied. As you drink, your ADH levels plummet. This is why you urinate so frequently when you're drinking alcohol. Your kidneys are working in overdrive, flushing water out of your system. But it gets worse. Later in the night, as the alcohol wears off, your body can experience a rebound effect, leading to disturbed sleep and another urge to go to the bathroom as your hormones try to rebalance. Number 3, the sugary poison, sodas, juices, and sweet teas. That can of cola, that glass of apple juice, or that sweet iced tea is a triple threat. First, many of them contain caffeine. Second, they're often highly acidic, which, as we know, irritates the bladder lining. But the biggest problem is the massive sugar load. Your body treats a flood of sugar as something it needs to get rid of quickly. To do this, your kidneys pull water from your body to dilute and flush out the excess sugar through your urine. This process is called osmotic diuresis. You aren't just peeing out the liquid you drank, you're peeing out your body's own water reserves, all because of the sugar. Number 4, the hidden danger, diet and zero sugar drinks. You think you're being smart by avoiding sugar. But the artificial sweeteners used in diet drinks, like aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium, are notorious bladder irritants. For a significant portion of the population, these chemicals act like a direct poke to the bladder wall. They create inflammation and a constant, nagging feeling of needing to urinate, even when your bladder is practically empty. It's a phantom urge, and it's just as effective at waking you up as a full bladder. Number 5. The acidic agitator, citrus juices and tomato juice. That healthy glass of orange juice in the evening, or even AV8, is a bath of acid for your bladder. Oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, and tomatoes are all highly acidic. This acidity doesn't necessarily make you produce more urine, but it dramatically increases the urgency and discomfort. If your bladder lining is even slightly sensitive, this acid will cause irritation that your brain interprets as a full-blown emergency signal to urinate immediately. Cranberry juice, often touted for bladder health, is extremely acidic and should also be avoided in the evening if you have nocturia. Number 6. The cozy Betrayal, hot chocolate and chai lattes. Your comforting, warm cup of hot chocolate is a perfect storm of bladder stimulants. It contains caffeine from the cocoa powder. It contains theobromine, a cousin to caffeine that also acts as a mild diuretic and muscle stimulant. And, of course, it's typically loaded with sugar, triggering that osmotic diuresis we talked about. Similarly, a chai latte combines the caffeine from black tea with spices that can be irritating to some and a heavy dose of sugar or honey, making it a guaranteed trip to the bathroom. Number 7. The overlooked offender, carbonated water. Plain, unsweetened, sparkling water seems innocent. But the carbonation itself, the carbonic acid that creates the bubbles, can be a direct bladder irritant. For many, the constant fizz is enough to tickle and stimulate the bladder muscle, leading to more frequent urges. If you love bubbly water, you may find that your nights are much calmer when you switch to plain, flat water in the evening. Now, you know what to avoid. But how do you build a sleep-safe hydration plan? This is where you take back control. First, implement the golden hour rule. Your goal is to stop all significant fluid intake 2 to 3 hours before your head hits the pillow. This gives your kidneys time to process the liquids and your bladder time to empty before you go to sleep. Sipping small amounts of water if you're thirsty or need to take medication is fine, but no more large glasses. So, what can you sip in that pre-golden hour window? Your best option is warm, not cold, water. Warm water is more soothing to the body's tissues and can be less of a shock to the system. If you need flavor, choose bladder-friendly infusions. A few crushed leaves of peppermint or spearmint in warm water can have a mild muscle-relaxing effect. Chamomile tea is another superstar. It's naturally caffeine-free, and its active compound, apigenin, has a calming effect on the nervous system and can help reduce bladder muscle spasms. One of the most powerful tools you can add is magnesium. Magnesium is nature's muscle relaxant. A small, warm drink made with a powder like magnesium glycinate an hour before bed doesn't just help with sleep. It can help relax that overactive detrusor muscle in the bladder, reducing those phantom urges. And finally, let's talk about lifestyle hacks that make a huge difference. Practice double voiding. This means emptying your bladder before you start your bedtime routine, brushing your teeth, and so on. Then, just before you get into bed, go to the bathroom one last time. You'll be surprised how much more you can release, ensuring you start the night truly empty. Next, look at your ankles. If you have swelling in your lower legs at the end of the day, that's fluid that will be reabsorbed into your bloodstream once you lie down, sending it straight to your kidneys. Elevate your legs for an hour in the evening, or do simple ankle pump exercises while you watch TV. This helps your body process that fluid before you go to sleep, not during it. Remember, a persistent, severe case of nocturia can sometimes be a sign of an underlying medical condition. If you're waking up more than 3 times a night consistently, experiencing pain, or if these changes don't help, it's always wise to speak with your doctor. You now have the knowledge. You understand the secret role of your hormones, you know about the hidden irritants and the sugar traps, and you have a plan of action. This isn't about deprivation. It's about making smart, strategic choices. It's about trading that one drink that sabotages your sleep for a practice that restores it. Tonight, you can start the journey back to deep, uninterrupted rest. Reclaim your nights, and you will transform your days.